Welcome back everyone, this is TechSolvingQuestions.com, part 3 of the daily marathon. We're with 36,000 chips at 250, 500. Apologies, we have had technical problems today, so I haven't been able to show the whole tournament. I believe we were at about 20,000 at the last recording, and we unfortunately lost about half our stack with pair of kings against a weak player. And we got it all in on the turn for 10,000, and he had just a flush draw on the turn, and he rivered it. So, and I believe there was a short stack in there as well, so a little bit unlucky, but we did just recently double through him and bust him out actually. We defended with king jack off, came jack high, and we check shoved the flop, and he was all in with queen jack, so we had to fade the 3 outs, and we did. So we're doing okay. Yeah, we've got 70 big blinds, which at this middle stage of the tournament I'm quite happy with that. So yeah, let's see how we go. We are continuing this theme of trying to be as aggressive as we can in late position. A bit frustrating that we haven't been able to show you the whole tournament live today. I've had problems every time we've finished recording. I've not been able to record until the previous video has been published on the software. So we are finding it that there's about a 40-minute lag every single time, which is a bit of a shame because we're missing some key hands, if you like. Like I said, we did miss the kings, and we have missed a few others. We missed a triple barrel bluff earlier in the day as well. But we'll soldier on. Let's see how many people's left in this thing. There's 1,400 and 3,700, so very much the middle point of the tournament. And, it's good value for these tournaments, $5, and it's 18 grand guaranteed, $2,300 for first. So there is good money to be made in these things, and this is it's a solid structure as well. So it's folded around to Bahia. He's been pretty solid up till now. We fold the 10-7 in the small blind. My risk's been a bit fishy. That's actually the person who beat us with the ace-10 suited against our kings. I made the flush. You will notice there's a few notes on a few other weak players, 4 fishy players, and a couple of players we're not too clued on. So, we like our table. We're doing reasonably well after losing some chips. And hopefully we can make a deep run in this thing. But more important than making a deep run today, although obviously it'd be lovely too, I am just trying to highlight the importance of how you can win pots and timed aggression, how well you can do. Oof, that's brutal. We also did have actually pocket aces earlier as well, and we re-raised someone, and it flopped ace high, but unfortunately came ace deuce 3 4 5, and our opponent had ace queen, so we were getting action. However, the board ran out of straight, so we weren't able to win any pots, more chips there either. Okay, so we don't have any information on Big Phil. It's got a similar stack to us. It's been raised and cooled, and we've got 7-4 off. We have absolutely nothing here. However, I am trying to keep up with that theme of if we can be aggressive where we can, let's go for it. So I'm going to put in a re-raise. I'm very conscious of the fact that if Sumulus goes in here, which hopefully it doesn't, we would have to call it, which will make us look very stupid. If Big Phil's a tight player, we don't know if he's tight or not. He should have a strong hand here. But once it gets to him, I like our chances of potentially picking up a pot here against our other opponent. So it's checked. I'm going to go ahead and bet half the pot, 5,700. And it's just pure aggression. You just got to put those C bets, not be fearful, and hopefully, hopefully you'll get there. Okay, so we've turned, got a pair here. Papu Nut, we know he's a fishy passive player. We're just going to hopefully show down our hand here, and hopefully a 6 will come and we'll win. But we've made a 4. Luckily we have showdown value. That's the only thing we've got for us. If we didn't, we'd probably have to bet by now. And there we go. We're able to pick up a decent sized pot, and that's just because we recognise that we had showdown value. If we didn't, we'd have to do what we did earlier with the ace-3 and make a decision: are we going to play for the whole lot here? We just decided to go for it, and when you play aggressively, sometimes good things can happen. So we were able to win the pot. He played the hand terribly anyway. What's he do? He's called under the gun raise of a6. He's called a squeeze. He's out of position. So we recognise that, and the variance of it, but also having that good decision making of when are you going to time your bets. Again, if we missed there, we would have had to probably just shoved or put him for a decision for his chips. Big Phil's raised again. It's been called. This time I'm just going to go ahead and play our hand for value with ace jack. We've just been shown re-raise him with the 4-7 offsuit, so I don't believe turning ace jack into a bluff is a good idea. Certainly because he's a little bit early position. I'm not really prepared to just stack off an ace jack against Big Phil. So look, there we go. We've just been called an asshole in the chat there as well. They've checked it round to us. We're going to go ahead and put another bet in here. Half the pot we have top pair, top kicker. What hands are we concerned about? I suppose he could have be slow playing a set or something like that, but it's very unlikely. We've turned top 2 now as well. He's gone ahead and bet again. A really small bet though. I'm going to go ahead and put real big pressure on it now. I'm going to make it 9,500, just because if he has some kind of draw here, I really need him to pay. If he doesn't, I want to get value for the river as well. So we've gone ahead and put the raise in, and we're up to 57,000. So all of a sudden, we've got a good stack. We're doing very well now. We've just obliterated Big Phil a little bit. We could have just called, but if he's turned an ace, he's going to call us probably on the turn there anyway. So I'm quite happy to just raise it there. He only bet 3 into 10, a very small bet. We're just going to fold that one with 2 people to the left of us. So we have 57,000 chips. The blinds are 300, 600. What's the average? 27. So we've got over double the average stack now. So we're chip leader in the table as well. So things going in the right direction. We're getting a bit of hate our way, which is always good as well. You don't necessarily want to be loved. And here we go. We're in mid position, so we're making the 2.2x in this situation. And it's pretty unlikely we're going to be really liable to, our images are a bit of a loosey-goosey, so people are more likely to overplay, ace, queen, ace, jack, pair of nines, those kind of hands against us. So if we got re-raised here, we'd probably be willing to get it in against most of the players on this table, as well you would when you're playing tight as well, and they fold round to us, so we pick that one up. Okay, a6 early position. I'm not going to play this one. I'm all for playing aggressive, but it's it needs to be in position. You don't want to be just raising crazily from early. There needs to be logic to it. But again, it'd be great if we have a deep run in this. But we busted the ace queen with 26 bigs than the other one. What I'm trying to show here is with timed aggression. For the right stack size at the right points of the tournament, you can pick up chips not risk-free, but you have to embrace almost the volatile nature. Just like with the 4-7 offsuit there, sometimes we're going to come ace high and we're going to lose chips there when we're betting. You just, as long as you be smart with it and don't be wasteful with your continuation betting, you can do okay. Okay, so we're getting a bit of a decent sized pot. He's got a pot sized bet on the river here for bag. Half pot bet, interesting. Then he's jumped the river. So Big Phil, who we don't know too much about, although he's been pretty active since he's been in now. If he picks up this pot, he's going to be up to 42,000. Marisk to our left, we've identified as a weak player. He's the one that cold called that 3-bet of mine when I had kings with an ace 10 suited. He's got a decent stack, so just got to be conscious of that. But yeah, we're doing very well. We've got 58,000 at 300, 600 is. We've got a lot of flexibility in how we want to play, but we want to, there's 1,440 in there every time. I think it's important to recognise when you've got a good stack that you don't want to be completely wild with it and wind yourself down, but you want to keep picking up those blinds and antes where you can, and certainly near the bubble and late on when people are trying to move up the money, you can do that. So hopefully we'll continue to get opportunities to do that. But yeah, 737 pay here. We've still got a good way to go. We're very much in the middle stage of this tournament. But it's a good structure, this tournament. We start with 10,000, I believe. And the blinds and antes at every level. Okay, so Mariska made it the full 3x. And judging by Famag's comments in the comment box, I would assume he's probably going to be moving on in because he said bye. It's interesting, he's the one that called us the asshole, because, you know, we re-raised the 4-7, but he's obviously just seen the fact that we've got 4-7, he hasn't looked at the scenario and said, okay, there's been a raise from someone who's got a lot of chips and a weak player's flat called, and we're in position, and, you know, we could have 4-7, but, you know, on the face of it, we meant to have a really strong hand there as well, so. Okay, so we've got a lot of all-ins here. Ace-10 has served Mariska very well so far, but it's not going to on this occasion. So Papu Nut is 37,000, and that's good for me because we're sandwiched between two pretty weak players with good stacks. So, you know, we're going to pick and choose our moments to be aggressive. But I'm liking the table. I'm liking our position at this point. We have a playable hand, however, you know, we are out of position. We could be out of position. You know, I've said it many times before. Small blind is not a place where I'm. You know, I'd be more inclined to call like a little pen, try and set mine here rather than call King 10. So I'm going to just bow out, not play the King 10 from the small blind there. I just feel like you're going to be. The ingredients of the hand aren't in your favour. Like when, you know, critically speaking, whenever you play a hand, you need to say what parts of the hand are in your favour. Do we have the best hand at that point? No. Does the hand play multi-way? Okay, it plays a little bit like, okay, multi-way. If it's suited, so play better. Do we have position advantage? No, so there wasn't too much going for us. The only thing I could think of was, you know, we do have implied odds. So our opponent having 37,000. Okay, so 3 of a kind 7s. He's just got himself up to 65k now. Okay, so here we are on the button. We've got to be conscious the big blind's got 11 big blinds, but that's not going to stop us raising. If it folds to us, let's see what happens here. Got connectors. If Big Phil opens up again here, it'll be interesting because he's been pretty active up till now. Papu Nut. He's got a decent stack. I may put pressure on him again. We know he's not likely to fold anything. Let's see what happens. If these players are using heads-up displays, they'll probably be conscious that we've been re-raising quite a lot, which works in our favour to some extent as well, because if we get a big hand, we should get action. On the other side, as their stack shortens, they are more likely to just move all in on us. However, you know, it does still take a certain amount of courage, because when you re-raise, get the free bet, you know, it's not always easy to put in that fourth raise. We are drawing nearer to another break as well. I won't be stopping because we're only 13 minutes into this portion. And he's using his time back for some reason. Triple L 0808 is a min raise from late. It's got 20 bigs. We could put the re-raise in. We have 2 people behind us, one of which we'd have to call. For that reason, I'm just going to let him take it. I'm not, you know. We do want to stay aggressive when we can, because like there, I think a lot of time he should be prepared to raise fold with 20 bigs, but a lot of people aren't. So I've opted to just fold on this occasion. He's, yeah. Let's call it down with King 9. There you go. Okay, now we're the ones with the King 9. So let's see what happens there. Okay, so it's folded around to us. I'm going to go ahead and do the 2.5x we said we'd be happy to do. Marisk is probably frustrated from the previous file, so I won't be surprised if he plays with us, but no. Samuelis, what's he going to do? He's got 10 bigs now. I'll have to really get my calculator out here, so 4,950. So bear with me while I get the calculator. How does our range do here? We're certainly likely to be the underdog of 4950 divided by 9090. 5,000. Oh man, the time bank used up then. That's frustrating. I think we probably had a call there, to be honest. I unfortunately ran out of time. We put in 1,500 and there's another 5,000 for a pot of 9, so, you know, not quite 2 to 1, but I'm pretty sure that's a call there. we recognise we're underdog, but it doesn't cost us much, and we're 40% against his his ace jacks. The only ones we're in bad shape really against him is if he's got pair higher than 9, and so yeah, that's a little bit frustrating. I forgot, but with the technical problems I've had, I've used up all my time bank today, so a little bit irritating because that's a mistake there. We did have a call. I was trying to work out the exact odds, and unfortunately ran out of time. Okay, so A7. There's a lot of people behind us, but I'm going to go ahead and try and stay aggressive here. We're in middle position. Probably at this stage of the tournament, people are probably more likely to be, just playing their hands, waiting for good positions. So I've opted to try and be a little bit active there. Although obviously, as I've said, we do want to be in the cut-off of the button more so. But fold to the squeeze there. We've only put in 2.2 blinds. I'm not going to go crazy against Manic. We're doing 55,000. It's a good stack at this point. It's a pretty small bet for a Manic. Got less, just over half the size pot bet here. He might just have rivered well there. If he checks back, he's going to be annoyed with Maris Kasoja Jack here. Be interested to see what they had there. Okay, I'm not going to play the Jack 6. I'm going to bow out on this one. But you'll see, if you're playing an aggressive style, you have to accept some of the swings. You can try and time it, but ultimately you are going to get re-raised occasionally. People will take a stand that they otherwise wouldn't. So, unlike previous tournament videos where I'm very much about, be patient, pick your spots really wisely. If you're going to adopt this strategy of being super aggressive where you can, you will get fluctuations in your stack. And we've seen it in the other tournament as well, where we busted out. We went with an ace queen where we might otherwise not have, because all the variants of that hand make you inclined to go ahead and play. Okay, so raise from the button, which we know should be doing a lot. Very small bet. Even less than a third there, that's like 25% bet. But he's played alright actually, Big Phil. He's not played too badly. He's the only one with more chips than us at this table. Oh cool, we've got 8 seconds added to our time bank. We are approaching a tournament break. I'm going to go get myself a coffee. I've been playing for several hours. Just jumped on him. Ace Jack. So he's overplayed a lot of hands today, and it looks like he's going. Oh no, he's lost this one, but he was the one that beat our kings with the ace 10 suited, and he had no business really being a cold calls or 3-bet with the ace 10 of hearts. Flopped 2 hearts on a jack high board against our kings, and then called the flop, and then stacked it on the turn. He's about to bust out short. Samuelis been playing pretty solidly so far. He's still at that kind of shortish stack, but no notes really on him. Big Phil's been reasonably active. This guy's a fish, as we've seen. He's 4x in it here, which most seasoned tournament players know isn't the best open size. Small blind now, king 10. Let's see what happens. The risk is all in, so there's no blinds or antes really to be won, although I suppose there's alpha 100s to be won, but he's min raised it. Should we play a pot with him for 1200? This is an interesting one. He raised to have ace, so let's call it and we'll just try and hopefully show our hand down here. Okay, so flopped a guttable. He's probably going to shut with an ace a lot of the time here. It's possible he could have a king 9 or those kind of hands as well. And we've gone ahead and ran good on the river here. We'll go ahead and bet half the pot. Hopefully he's got a queen. And there we go, we're going to get a bit of value there. Okie doke, so we're going to pause it there. I'm going to go make myself a coffee. Hopefully we have no more technical problems, but as it stands at the moment, there's 1100 people, 1150. The average is 32,000 and we are sitting with 58, so we should be back soon. Welcome back to techsolvingquestion.com. We are still in the mini daily marathon, 12k guaranteed. Blinds are now 400, 800, and we are sitting with 58,000. So we're doing okay, we're doing quite well. There's one person with more chips than us on this table. We're going to continue to play this extremely aggressive positional game that we're going to play. Continued all day. And Big Phil's taking his time from under the gun. If he raises from there, I'm actually just going to fold this one. We do have to remember that we are, I know there's one person sitting out, but we are, full ring ace 10 isn't that great. And it's difficult. If Cactus shoves it, I think we probably have to call. Okay, so it's folded around to us. If you've seen my videos, you'll know that this is the kind of raise I like making from this position. He's donk led into us here. Interesting line. I'm not prepared to fold an ace 10 quite so easy to him, so I'm going to go ahead and take a turn card off him. He probably, I think 10 jack and king 10, these kind of hands make up a lot of his range here as well, so he's led into us again. I'm still not going to just give him credit here, and this is where you have to hand read and make a decision. So I'm going to call him again. The card hasn't came off here. He's checked again, and now I'm actually going to, if he has a 9 or something, I'm just going to say to him, you have to call for all your chips here. 2, 1, 8, 1, 6. And this is where sometimes you just have to put the pedal to the metal and say you're going to call your whole stack. That's what I've decided to do. It's an overbet, but you know what? If he's going to call it with a 9, good luck to him. I've made the decision that we're going to put the pressure on him here. Put his tournament life on the line. And there we go, it works out. So sometimes you just have to... And you know what? It's more likely that I thought actually we probably have the best hand a lot of the time. He's going to show king 10, king jack, jack 10. He certainly didn't play it like a queen. Let's fold around to us. We've got queen 10 in mid position. We'll do the 2.2. Or the hijack, as people like to call this position. Picked up a caller. He's got a big stack, as have we. With flop top pair here. The fact that he's got so many chips as well, I'm going to just, I'm going to play a bit careful against him. Check it back. Let's see what happens here. Got, a very reputable hand, but sometimes it's about timing your aggression. And when you're against a fellow big stack, sometimes there's no problem with just saying, let's just take it a bit easy. So he's checked again. I'm now going to bet for value and to protect. I'm going to go ahead and bet my 10. He's called us. River's a poor card for us. I'm going to check it back because he probably has ace 7, ace jack a lot of time as well. So, there's 9 grand out there. If we've got the best hand, I'm happy to shut it down. So, yeah, he had a 5. So we're doing well. We've got 71,000. The blinds at 800. So we've got, almost 90 big blinds. What position are we in the tournament? Yeah, we're in the top 10%. So 1100, we're 81st. Yeah, as I was saying, with that was just a situational one. I felt like if he's got a 9, it's very easy for him to call 6,000 and still be playing with 15,000. Whereas if he put his whole tournament life on the line, he just felt like there's a very remote chance he's going to call his entire tournament life. Whereas there was a good chance he would call, a third of his stack with second pair, if that is what he had. And yeah, sometimes that's the flexibility you have when you have a really good stack that you can put people's tournament life on the line. But I hope you've enjoyed the videos we've done today. Again, if you're an adept player, you've got to be able to adapt and show different variants of your game, and I'm sure it's been a lot more thoroughly enjoyable sometimes when you play an aggressive style that looks wild. But if you've noticed, all the re-raises we've been doing, again, we have pretty much been in late position, or we've been re-raising over weak players or isolating weak players, and that's the key commonality of the re-raises that we've been doing. Okay, so we're in early position. We're going to min-raise it as we've done before. Not a great hand full ring, but we've got plenty of chips. The big blind sitting out. What would be the best scenario here? Probably just we pick it up, to be honest, because the small blind's too short to call. The big blind's sitting out, and we don't want to be out of position, so effectively we're just trying to nick the blinds. He's 3-bet us. It's pretty much like a min 3-bet. But again, let's go through the factors of this hand here. Alright, the only factor I can think of is that we're weak against a weak player. Is our equity good with this hand? Not really, not in a 3-bet pot. He did lose the previous pot, so it's possible our cards are live. We've got pot odds on our favour? Yes, we have pot odds on our favour, and a weak player. However, all the other ingredients are not in our favour. We don't have the pre-flop aggression, and we're out of position for the hand, so I'm quite happy to just give them the 1600 and move on to the next hand. And we're going to fold the king 7. But yeah, being out of position there and not having the lead pre-flop is key, and it'd be very hypocritical for me to be raising from my lead position with king jack and then calling a 3-bet. Just listen to that sentence in itself. On a 4-ring table, raising from early position with king jack and calling a 3-bet out of position. That is just the kind of action that weak players will be taking, and it's what we are taking advantage of those players that are calling those re-raises, and why we can get away with re-raising with 4-7 offsuit in position, because we know we're going to play post-flop well, we're going to pick up a lot of pots where they just miss, so we don't want to be that one who's going to be, making those defends out of position with king jack. Now if it's heads up, and we've got a history of that guy as we do, if it's a heads up tournament or something, king jack goes up in estimations obviously, but we are full ring and we have to respect that. Okay, so ace queen v ace queen, nothing need be said there. Deuce 6 in small blind here. And we're going to obviously not get involved here. Okay, so we're in position again here. Let's see if the situation is befitting of a re-raise. We've really stacked up our guns and done it a lot today. Cactus, I can't really do it against him because his only move is shoving. But it's forward round to us. I'm going to put in the raise again, 2000. And then if Samulus shoves, you can't always be scared that people are going to just shove on you. But we'll look at the pot odds and we'll see if it's worth it. I would have called him last time, but we do force him to still have like an ace or king 10 or better. But trust me, he's not doing this with just complete rags here. So we pick it up, and that's not to be sniffed at. We're back over 70,000. 8 deuce. Not going to play this one. Certainly not to the early position raise. But yeah, again, as I said, it's not to be sniffed at because there's 1900 chips to be picked up there every time you steal the blind. So even when you've got 60,000-70,000, they're very certainly worth it. Okay, so he's got 5 speed queens. I liked how he's played. He's been reasonably patient. He's picked his spots, and now that he's gone from 800 up to 19,000, so 18,000. So he'll be quite happy to be sitting there with over 20 bigs now. 8-5 offsuit. We've been a little bit too active from the hijack today. I'm not going to do it with offsuit 8-5. Really, where we want to be most aggressive is the cut off on the button, as we are normally as well. Obviously, this isn't a completely new strategy. What we're talking about here today, we've just amplified him. And Samulus is probably thinking, what's going on? He's waited for his double up, and as soon as he raises, he gets 3-bet. That's the fold. Middle position, 10-8 offsuit. I'm not going to get involved with this one. Let's see how many people's left. 1,000 people left. 1,027. So we've got a reasonable chance of cashing this thing. You'd certainly hope so. The average is 36, and we're not far off double that already. So we've got the average stack point of about 500 people left, which a lot of people could use that kind of stack to eke into the top 200, if not more. But how much? This 200 for this be $18. Obviously, gaining a good in the money rate is very important. If you're serious about playing serious volume in tournaments, be nice to have a deep run and make a final table. But the main purpose, from my perspective, in this tournament is just to navigate through the field, playing this strategy. Obviously, we'll try and stay consistent. We'll adapt to the tables as and when they change. But yeah, let's see how we go. Cactus is very short now. He's sitting there with 9 bigs. Min raise over Olympa. 2 weak players and big fields in position on both. Checked round. Decent size bet there, it's about 2/3 of the pot. Quite a big bet for a dry board, Queen 3-9. We're going to get out of the way with a 7-8 offsuit. It'd be good to pick up some premium hands in this as well. We have relied on a lot of our pre and post flop aggression to pick up pots here. But there is a certain amount of run good as well. You've got to hope people don't flop monsters against you sometimes as well. So interesting, he checks that back on the ace-4-8 there. I would have expected a bet from Big Phil a lot of the time there. Small bet by Papu. And yeah, that's not going to get people to fold very often. Again, here's a good opportunity for Big Phil. Well, he sees this as an opportunity to bet 4,000, 5,000-ish. There we go, 5,000. He certainly played it as if he could have a jack, so don't dislike the bet at all. And specifically when they both check the river there, when it's paired the jack as well, and they've not bet prior to that, and the ace is out there, it just shows you the advantage of position again. Play the 10-3, obviously. Yeah, I was just looking, I'm pretty sure it's a rebuy this one. Yeah, 905 re-entries, so yeah, 3,700 entries. About 240 off cashing. I mean, you can't, if you are big on playing micro stakes and low stakes tournaments, there is really good money to it. I mean, for $5, what's it, over $2,000 for first in this. It's a good payday for such a small buy-in. Okay, so blinds up to a standard 500 and 1,000. Remember, we do start 10,000 chips, and this is they call it the marathon. I'm guessing because it's this bigger chip, bigger starting stack, and slower structure. Samuelis with his 16 bigs has made it 2.7. Maluk is shoved. I would be surprised to see Samuelis folding. I'm probably going to shove with an ace queen or 2 nines or something, 2 jacks, and yeah, that's just unfortunate. He's run into aces. Yeah. Didn't dislike how he played. I felt like he looked like he played reasonably solid and patient up till 10. Okay, so this is interesting. Manuk's just won the previous pot of aces. He's got a deep stack, but we know he's a weak player. Here's a scenario where I'm going to let this. Okay. If it's been re-raised, and I'm not going to jump in against him, but that would have been a position where I would have defended from a small blind, the worst position, as I said, but I would have just let the strength of my hand do the talking, because I would have played it careful and see what happened. And there you go. Once he re-raised, I wasn't likely to go in, but we would have just played it careful against him, and frankly, he would have been favourite to win the pot being in position, so we would have had the same hand, but we would have expected. I wouldn't be surprised if he bet at some point and we would have had the decision to make. That's just the benefit of being in position and the pre-flop aggressor. Okay, so it's folded to us. We're going to make it the 2.5 as we've said before. We're probably getting tagged as a fish for doing this by a lot of seasoned regs, because I don't think 2.5 is the order of the day anymore, but if people are going to make mistakes out of position, play pots out of position against us, I want them to pay 2.5 and not mid them in. He shoved 29 bigs. It's quite a lot to shove there. Obviously, we're not going to entertain the possibility of calling 7-8 of hearts, but it's interesting he just opted to just shove it. Okay, and if it folds to us, we will open the queen. Okay, well, we didn't get the opportunity, and he's played pretty tight, so I'm not inclined to re-raise him. I don't think I've seen him open a pot yet. So again, it's about picking those times when you can get away with a re-raise, and And we could have done it just for the sake of saying, you know, we're in position, let's keep re-raising, but we have to respect that we are on a full ring table and people will find hands. Happy to re-raise over someone who's been very active or a weak player, but against someone who's, you know, been solid, it's not. It's just insane, isn't it? Really. Okay, so that's a big isolation match from Mamzilla, but look at that, he's picked up a call. And the question is, does he like the ace or not? Because a lot of re-raises hands are not going to contain aces, they're going to contain big pairs. But he has re-raised it, so he's pretty much turned his hand face up and said, I'm meant to have an ace king here. I wouldn't be surprised if he flats this time though. There we go. And then when he gets bet here, he'll end up stacking it. Interesting line from Papu. I would have expected Mamzilla to have called by now if he had the ace, so I'm guessing he was re-raising light before the flop and turned a draw of some description possibly. You know, I would have expected him to re-raise the donk lead with kings. So it was an interesting one. He might have been using position advantage himself there. And Cactus has finally took a stand and shoved all in. I just want to apologise again for the my voice today. Like I said, I've been feeling a bit under the weather lately. A bit of a cold. But I did want to get another video out. There's a couple of videos out for you, our lovely subscribers. You expect the big blind to call quite wide here, 4.5, 8, 3 is similar to what we were getting earlier. Okay, I'm going to play the 8-5. Malik, probably going to open here, been pretty active. There we go, Queens. He's got in his chips in good, and he's holding. So, you know, there are different strategies you can play. Look, if you want to play really patient and nitty, try and get your money in good, sometimes that'll work as well. He's played patient and he's got his chips in a very good position there. Okay, so I'm going to min-raise the 2 ducks. We've got enough chips, you don't have to worry about it, you know. I'm happy to play a pot in position against Papu and Nat if I have to. Our stack size, you know, once you go over 30 big blinds, I think any pair, if you're a competent player, you can raise from early position, so I'm not too concerned. I don't hate if you want to fold these hands from early, you know, you can do that as well. It's not terrible to do that necessarily. Okay, the problem is here we are sandwiched between 2 players, and I feel like Mamzilla's going to have an ace or a king in his range a lot of the time here, and we don't know what Papu's got, so I'm kind of going to check it and play a bit coy here. We'll see how the action develops. He's checked back. That doesn't necessarily mean he still doesn't have an ace or a king. It's quite possible, but I'm just going to bow out. As I've said previously, when you're in between players, I think you really got to be smart about the way you play post-flop. I find people are very spewy. There's a lot of variance to that hand, how it could have happened, and we could have ended up just picking the pot, but again, being sandwiched between the 2 of them is just not an ideal scenario, unless you want to play complete guesswork. He's doing a lot of blocker bets, so it indicates he's meant to have some kind of hand of showdown value here. Mamzilla is just going to get out of the way, so I wouldn't be surprised if he ended up having a king or something. That was just trying to restrict someone from putting in a bigger bet. But you know, he's a weak player, so we don't know. He might not be thinking. We could have, took our one shot on the flop, or you know, on that ace king high. I just felt like against 2 players. But, you know, we could have bet the flop and then bet the turn as well. A king will normally fold on the turn. And, you know, it does hit our perceived range as well, but I just opted to play careful on that one. There we go. 2 shortish stacks are going in. He's got his chips in good there, Triple L. He'll be delighted about that. 8s v4s. When you get in with 8s, you must be happy to be a big favourite like that. Okay, so we're on a new table. And by the looks of it, there's one person with more chips than us. How many short stacks are there? There's only Matteo is the only real short stack. Everyone else seems to be doing okay. We've searched Sova with 20 bigs, so we're completely absent of any information here. So we're almost in the dark a bit, but we are going to set our mark and continue the theme of aggression in position here, if we're allowed to. Yeah, let's see how we go. We should hopefully, if we are attentive to detail here and watch people's behaviour, we should be able to find out reasonably quickly how people are going to be playing. But at this point, yeah, we have no read or no information on anyone, so we just have to. And you know, poker is a game of information. When you don't have that information, it makes it a lot more challenging. I'm not going to raise this one. I know we've been aggressive, but Queen D, there's no playability or equity, and I don't necessarily want to raise straight away into the chip leader's big stack. Let's just, you know, sit back and observe for a moment or two, and once we've got a bit more of an idea, we can take action. So 883. I was just curious. We are, you know, 140 away from cashing in this thing. I think cashing in these are normally about 1.5 times the buy-in. So yeah, if you buy, oh no, it's been more than that here. 550. So yeah, $2 shy of doubling your money, which isn't bad. I was expecting it to be more like $7.50. Obviously, we're not going to be playing this necessarily concerned with cash in, but if you are a tournament player, you know, you do need to respect the fact you want to be getting a good in the money rate. You want to be cashing. You know, I don't know what it is on stars. I think it's the top 15-16% of the field. So you should be looking for, you know, 25% cash rate or somewhere along those lines. Just because you need to keep cash in regularly to, you know, pay for the times when you don't run well, and then hopefully if you're doing a bit better than breaking even, and then when you make your deep runs, you're in the money and you're doing well. But it's very difficult to get, you know, I think 30-35%, but any more than that is incredibly difficult to achieve in tournaments, just because the variance aspect makes it very difficult. Although I suppose it depends on the kind of strategy you employ. Actually, I think a higher cash rate than 30-35 is possible if you employ a really careful style and you're happy to, you know, just keep eking into the money. But most good tournament players recognise that you want to give yourself a shot at winning, and in order to do that, you do have to, you know, take the risks that are inherent in tournaments to chip up, if you like. What do we find? A jack turn. Okay, so multi-way pot. PG Whisperer probably is loving that board. It can certainly hit the big blinds range. The big blind special, as they like to say. And the fact he's checked there, you certainly wouldn't expect a check if he's got, you know, sixes or above. I'm surprised Sertsover didn't bet there. Even if I'm sitting there with Queen Jack, Queen 10, you're probably going to bet and then barrel, and again if PG Whisperer calls, because he's meant to have an ace high when he checks that flop, and he's bet the turn. It's an interesting one, unless he's opening quite wide there. I'm surprised by the check, although, you know, he could have been playing careful. Again, he's sandwiched between them. If he checks here, you don't expect him to have a two. Okay, so he's just jammed it. So it's an interesting line. He didn't bet the flop, but he has bet half of the pot on the turn, and now he's decided to just shove it all. You'd expect most, you know, conventional players to just go ahead and bet with an overpair on the flop there, so I'm a bit surprised by that. Okay, so mid position, if it falls to us, we will open. I'm not going to do anything crazy. I wouldn't be surprised if Dean exerts his authority and tries to re-raise us from there. That wouldn't surprise me at all. Let's see if we get the opportunity to open. Suited connectors, caps connectors, all those kind of hands, when you've got a reasonable stack, I'm quite happy opening. The only thing that I'm a little bit nervous about is the big blind is probably going to stack off with a lot of hands here, but, you know, let's still go for it. See how the action develops. We picked up a call from a small blind. We don't have any information, but I'm happy that I'm in position on the pot, because we did have three people to the left of us. And given the fact we don't have any showdown at this point, we can categorically say we are probably going to be betting a lot of flops here. Maffeo should probably just fold into a lot of his stacks, so we'll see what happens. Okay, so we've got bottom pair, backdoor straight draw, and again, this is just scenario where, you know what, there's 6,000 out there. I don't have to bet every flop. We have showdown value. I don't expect him to fold 8s or 9s, so what am I trying to achieve? Let's just check it and see what happens. Okay, now our hand's improved dramatically. He's led out. If I raised it, would I be happy getting my chips in? Possibly. He could have ace queen, or He could also have 3 sixes. I'm going to raise it just because I want to get some value if he has 9s or hands like that. So I've decided to go ahead and put the raise in. If he has 3 6s or something, it'll look very foolish, but you know, what can you do? I want to protect my hand and I want to get value if he has a queen. The fact he folded so fast would indicate he probably had an ace 10 or an ace jack or king jack or king 10. I think it's weighted more towards raise on 10, but a lot of time, you know, it's fine just call in as well because you can get him to bluff off on the river. And that just indicates the impact of playing out of position. Look what he did there, he just called, and what could he do? All he could do is just check the flop like he's going to do most of the time, and then, you know, you try and bet the turn, and a lot of people will just raise you there because they know you can't, you know, we can reasonably have 8-9 and he can't, and we can, you know, you just have so many options when you're in position versus being out. And it's still a concept that people have in their head about position, but they still don't, you know, adhere to it as much as what they should, which I do find fascinating. And until the day when everyone properly appreciates it, you will always have, you know, the opportunity to make money at both cash games and tournaments. So the short stack 15 bigs, he's opted to just min raise. It's interesting because most people with that stack size would often just shove. I'm conscious that we're 46 minutes into this clip and I've had problems today so far. Every time we've done a video, I've not been able to record a new one until the previous one's been uploaded. So if there are no more videos after this one today, you will know that that means I've busted out within the hour, because it's taken about 45 minutes every time to upload a video. So I may end up having to do like a little summary of how I busted out if there's no more videos, just to keep you updated on this. As it stands, we have 68 big blinds, there's 826 people. PG Whisper's going to probably raise it here. And we're getting a good price here with the A6 offsuit, but you know, it's offsuit. Can we expect to show it down a lot of time? Probably not. I'm not really too keen on 3-betting. I'm not one for just re-raising out of position for the sake of it, so I'm actually just going to go ahead and give this one up. Fold it out, let him have it. Could have called. If it had been min raise, I'm almost certainly calling. We are getting a decent price. And I won't begrudge people who do want to call with ace-x from the big blind versus late position raise sometimes, but weren't feeling it that time. So 10-9 offsuit, let's see what happens here. You know, decent playability at 10-9, you can make straights. You know, if you hit a 10 or 9 quite often, it's going to be the second pair or top pair. But I'm not going to be calling a raise with it. If it folded to us, given the blinds and antes, I may have been inclined to raise, but I'm not a huge fan of raises from small. I probably would have completed and then just played timidly. Probably just basically, when you're in the small blind, the way I try and pick up chips is to complete and then just bet most flops. That's normally the way. Either that or let them try and hang themselves if you make a good hand and just check call them down, because people will just keep betting into you sometimes when they're the big. But it's certainly a position that it's difficult to you know, have it be a profitable position when you play poker. I have all the 9 seats, as I've said in previous videos today. It's probably the worst position to be at. I mean, it can be good if you're like an expert at playing traps, but even then it's difficult you can't always manipulate the pot size you want, and you can't guarantee that they are going to bet when you check, so it's just not a great position to be in. Here's a Benjamin with lots of 8s has opened. We're on the button. I kind of feel like this is an opportunity to go ahead and put a squeeze in, but PG Whisper is probably going to have a decent hand, a reasonable amount here. And I'm also conscious of Sova's we'll have to get it in against him. If we had any information whatsoever on Benjamin, I think we could put in a raise against him, but on this occasion, I'll just give it up to him. We'll let him have it. We don't know anything about him. I was also conscious of the fact that Whisperer seems pretty solid, and I expect him to, when he's calling in an early-ish position raise, he's probably going to have a strong hand a lot of the time. So, but that's not necessarily so we can't squeeze. If he might fold an ace jack or a pair of 6s or something like that when we squeeze there, I don't know, but my intuition was that to fold on that occasion. Okay, so now he's limp, so I'm going to go ahead and put him as a fishy player. I know that's very judgmental. He raised the previous hand Now he's limping. But just as soon as I can't help myself when I see people limping in, open limping that is, of course, I just straight away think you're a bit of a weak player. And that's not a surprise. We don't expect to find lots of amazing players at low stakes tournaments. But if you're one of these players that are adept at playing several tables at once, there's certainly good money to be made. And you've got the time, of course. I'd expect him to look cool here. That's probably why he's only flicked in the 1200, because he wants to see the flop. So it's interesting to get behind the mindset of players who play this way. He probably has a hand that's like, it's not really strong enough for me to raise from early position following here, where he might not be thinking anything. But more like, I like the look of this hand, I want to see the flop. Look, he's got him called 4200, whereas if he's done what he did on the previous hand, min raised, he would have saved chips and he would have been the pre-flop aggressor. Reasonable size bet there. About 60% on the pot from PG Wisp. I've kind of liked how he's played up till now. He's got a 55k stack, so he's doing alright. We're in the hijack middle-ish position. Folds to us. It's just a little. We do have still two people to the left of us. That's just making me a bit hesitant. If it folds to us, I've made a decision. I will make the 2.2. Let's see if we get away with it. There's 2,880, almost 3,000 out there. And we're getting closer to the bubbles. People probably are. I think those factors allow us to open up our game a little bit. Again, we're not playing the strength of our hand here. Sova's probably going to try and wait to cash. We haven't shown down anything crazy so far, so I think it's an opportunity for us to try and pick up 3,000 chips, relatively risk-free. But yeah, we have no equity in the hand. We don't have any showdown value, and if we get called, we're pretty much just going to have to try and pick it up after the flop at some point. It's folded to speaker, and he's gone ahead and put a 3-bet on us here. We don't have any notes on him. It's not a huge re-raise. We are in position, but we have no equity, so I'm going to give this one up to him. I don't know how he's playing. It could just be a decent 3-bet there. 6-9 isn't going to do very well in that situation. King 10. Mindful Dina's on the button here, so he might. But I don't think he's played. He hasn't been out of line or anything. I'm going to raise this one again, 2.2. Let's see if we pick this one up. We're kind of playing the scenario more than anything else. We know that we're approaching the bubble and people are going to be careful. It'd be interesting if Dina takes a leaf out of Speaker's book and puts a 3-bet on us. Benjamin's in the big blind. I'd imagine he's probably going to defend wide here. Right, he's folded. Okay, so no worries. So we pick up that. So there's no harm in that. We raised the 6-9, we didn't win, but we pick up the next pot after. So that's absolutely fine. Again, here we've got another very playable hand. It's not suited, and we do have 4 people to the left of us. But again, I'm playing more the scenario, the fact that we've got a lot of, we're getting close to the bubble. So I'm going to go ahead and raise it again. I wouldn't be surprised if someone takes a stand here and says, I'm going to 3-bet Nia because he's been opening a lot of pots. But let's force them to do it. Why not? It costs us 2,600. Until people react to us, and we're going to keep putting the pressure on us. Let's continue the aggression. We know people will play a bit more careful close to the bubble, and we're not really that fussed by that. We want to, but again, and this isn't too bad. This folded round, we're in the big, the folded round to the big blind. I'm happy for that. That's exactly what I want. He's probably going to defend wide here. I expect that because he's in the big blind. He seems like he's a competent player, but there's no reason why this can't hit us. I'm going to go ahead and take a shot. We could have took the free card. I don't hate taking a free card with the gut ball there, but I don't want him to necessarily feel confident with a small pair, so opted to just continuation bet and we pick it up. So the tournament's going quite well at this point. We are sitting on 71,000. We are coming to the end of this hour. There's 38 people till we cash. I'm hoping that I'll be able to do another video. I'm going to let this one run till the hour, just because I'm very mindful of the fact that the previous videos have had a 45-minute delay between the next one. So. But yeah, either way, I will do a summation of this tournament if I bust out between this video being uploaded. Okay, so 8-4 suited, not going to play that. And as you can see, look, people generally do start playing more carefully. This wasn't happening earlier on in the tournament, and that's just human nature. When people, you got to remember, most people who play these tournaments, cashing is important to them. They don't play. Of course, they want to win $2,000, but you don't want to play a couple of hours and not get any money back. So people will be trying to get that, but it's about, it's a fine balance. You need to make sure, one, yes, you do cash, but two, you take advantage of those that are just trying to eke their way in. And there's a lot of chips that you can pick up at this stage of the tournament. Search Sober's probably going to be looking to jam here. It looks like he's considering it. No. Okay, so we're second in chips. Dina 94 is in early-ish position, middle-ish position, I suppose. Speak up. So Benjamin's the only one we've identified as a big player at this point. Involve 30 big blinds, more than 30 bigs. Min raised it. You can call here. You know what, we are getting lucrative pots, but I'm just going to give that one up. It's just we've got no showdown value. We will have to get a bit crazy after the flop at some point, which I'm not averse to, as you've seen today. But I don't know. I don't mind it if it had been suited. I certainly would have. Is the 3-bet alright? Sure, you can, but I'm not too keen on just 3-betting and then having to fold to 4-bets all the time. But I think the 3-bet there probably would be okay. I don't think it's too bad to re-raise, put the pressure on him there. We don't have any information on him, I suppose, but it's an interesting one, facing the button raises. The trends over the last few years have changed in terms of how people react to button raises. Have changed as well. Okay, so we are at 57 minutes. I'm going to pause it there. Hopefully I will be able to show you another video for today, but if not, it's been a pleasure. Thanks to TotalQuestions.com.